children.
Audio test, audio test, audio test, audio test, audio test.
Audio test, bunch of words, 1, 2, 3 testing.
Hello and welcome to another fantastic week of Formula 1 racing here on SLR. We pride ourselves on delivering top on-track action such as overtakes.
Oh, Danny on the inside, sorry, Danny on the inside.
And of course, where would we be without some crashes and drama?
Pace around this track.
Oh, and spinning is Canopus. That's his microlander up the inside. No, Danny.
And lots more. What started out as a fun idea quickly developed and grew into one of the most influential and recognizable online F1 leagues across the F1 platform. Every new season saw more and more big names join the roster, all battling harder and harder to claim the coveted SLR title. This season will be like no other before it, the strongest lineup we have ever seen. Old champions rejoining to battle the new top dogs of SLR. All of the tiers in SLR are fielding their respective strongest to date, with much to fight for and achieve. But if you have come to witness Titans battle Titans, well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to Tier 1.
So here we are on a lap with Justin, that racer, around the Spanish track in Catalonia. into turn 1. You want to take as much curb as possible on the left. Turning in early on the right, taking all the curb on the left there, can spin you out if you don't catch it right. Turn 3 should be flat all the way. You can use all the exit strip and being sure to use all the entry curb into this turn 4, which is slightly off camber. You can get onto the grass pretty easily, and this is a difficult corner. You don't want to lock up turning into this left-hander. Now up the hill into the chicane of turns 7 and 8, and it's very easy to lose the car on the throttle coming into this corner of turn 9. Flat out in qualifying should be little lift in the race, done nicely there by the Red Bull driver, breaking into the hairpin of turn 10 then, being sure to hug close to this curb. It can spin you out if you don't catch it right, like some of the other curbs on this track, and into the final set of corners then. This chicane is an important part of the lap to set up your final run. To the exit, bit onto the gravel, it's easy to do, but flat out through the final corner, opening DRS, and that is a lap of Spain.
And with that hot lap by Justin, we are back with SLR Tier 1, the second round of the 7th season here on the F1 2017 game. And we are riding sort of on board. Can we go on board? No, camera angle's letting us down again. We are riding here with Julian Altina on his qualifying run. We've got 17 drivers here at Spain, and we've got 2 commentators, but unlike usually, it's not Tara and me, it is me, Timo, and Sonny is with me. Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, so Tara is, well, is kind of suffering from a little bit of a migraine, so of course, best wishes go out. Hope you get well soon, but for now, we've got Sonny here, and that should be interesting.
Yeah, hope to fill his shoes. These are the big ones to fill, so we'll do my best to replace Terror today, hopefully in for a good race.
Yeah, and to everyone in chat, of course, do please let us know if there's anything wrong with the audio levels. We had a little bit of a problem before the stream, so we didn't really get to test them. So if someone's too loud or too quiet and the game needs turning up, then please do let us know. Otherwise, we can't really figure it out. So yeah, we're here, and we've got the first runs on the board already halfway into this qualifying session, and so far Bailey Thompson is leading the charge in his green Aston Martin. I always want to say Alfa Romeo. With a 14.8, which I believe is a solid time, and he's setting the pace for now, but with 8 drivers still yet to put in any lap time, I assume the times will be tumbling.
Bailey is just starting another lap, so maybe we'll following him.
Yeah, we can see if how clean he does. Someone goes straight in turn 1. It's his teammate, it is Julius in the other Aston Martin.
Back looked clean throughout turn 1 and turn 2, flat out.
Yeah, straightens the steering nice, and now into 4. Good apex, and gets the power down as well. The car doesn't understeer off the apex. It's really easy. It really easily happens.
Takes a lot of curbs on the outside, very close to invalidating. Now onto the tricky part, when you need to take a lot of the curb. Still that does not invalidate. Some yellow flags on track, but goes quite wide, but manages to keep it on track.
I think this is going really well, and the Delta is confirming that he's 2/10 up on his time, which means he could be on for 14.6 with 1 run to go. Now he just needs to nail Sector 3, which is quite the hard one, very twisty, a little bit slow and easy to get wrong now through the last chicane, and he really nailed that.
Very clean.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna double down on his pole position for now and improve his time. It's a 14.5 from Bailey Thompson. Wow.
What a lap. What a lap. And it's quite early into the session, so there is still a lot of time for him to improve, like 7 minutes. He can still set up 1 more lap, and it's already quite a fast one. Of course, we have a lot of other drivers who still need to set a time on the board, but it's almost half a second up on Marion, who is in P2, so Bailey already starting out strong.
Yeah, it's I'm kind of hoping we're seeing the Bailey Thompson 3.0 or something that we've been promised at the start of this game. He completely sweated and tried to get as much of a head start as possible. He was even try-harding on the beta, but it seems to have worked out, at least for now. He just wasn't really able to get the result
Tony
last week.
out on a lap.
Oh my god,
with
on mediums.
Okay, interesting.
But
If you can also follow Sonny, he's up 2/10.
who?
Sonny, Sonny,
that's...
P5 McLaren.
Oh!
We have 2 Sonnys actually.
Oh no.
I'm commentating, but there's also another driver with very similar nickname. Oh, I think he invalidated his lap actually. I see on the minimap that it's all red, so I think this lap won't count, and he's probably just pushing into the pits. We have Mackander in P3, who also goes below the 1.15 time. So we have already 4 drivers breaking the 15-second barrier, and also Luca also improving on mediums. So I don't know about this game, but I know that in the previous games on this track the softs don't last that long. So I would say Luca and Luke Smith, they have quite an advantage if they manage to stay in the top 3 with these mediums.
Absolutely. Also, by the way, do you remember when I made the comment when we were setting up the lobby? Why are you in my lobby? It was El Sonny. That was what happened. I completely forgot that that's 2 different people. And yeah, Luca of course did win last time out in Bahrain, and now he's narrowly ahead of Vexit for now. Vexit, who is, I believe, going for another run on that same set of tires, maybe seeking an improvement, and gets yeah, kind of screwed over there by the curb. Yeah, it happens. You can't really do that reliably. So his lap is...
Do you think he will go for one more, or will he have to abort this?
I think his lap is strong enough on mediums that he doesn't really need to improve on it. It's just maybe he would need it as a response to whatever Luca's gonna do.
Julian behind him also almost spins actually. And Julian. I think Julian actually aborted his lap because of that. Unless he was not pushing.
Marion in on the 3rd row of the grid. He was of course monumentally unlucky in Bahrain, got taken out twice, and the drivers who took him out both got 10 penalty points each for that. So it was most certainly not his fault. Let's hope that he can catch a little bit more luck here in Spain, because it was frustrating to see last time. There's an Alpine there of Pixel, who does not get into the way, but Marian still abandons his lap. I mean, he did catch the curbs in a weird way there in the last sector, so maybe that was the reason he decided to not pull through in that lap.
Yeah, and meanwhile, as we speak, we kinda missed that Crystal's actually retired. I saw him parked between turn 1 and turn 2 for quite a while, and now he is retired, so he's not gonna improve, probably gonna start in the back. But as we speak, Luca is, I don't know if he's pushing, it looks like it, but he's on his 2nd lap on mediums. I'm wondering if he's gonna try to improve and finish the lap. It looked like it, so he's gonna cross the line. Let's see what time does he set. Does not improve, barely.
Super close.
Very close. Yeah, almost identical time, so he just need to... This was actually 3 laps, so he went 1 cooldown lap and then started another one. Probably needed to charge his battery, and Luke behind him, or Vexit on your screen, is actually in the pit, so I don't think he's gonna come out again till end of the session. He's probably gonna be happy with his P3 on mediums, and his mediums will actually be having less tire wear than Lucas mediums, because he did 1 more lap on them.
Yeah, one thing I'm worried about is that I believe Vexit joined the qualifying session later. I'm not sure about that. I know we were 17 when I opened, when I joined the session.
It was Icewind. It was Icewind.
Icewind. Okay, I thought it was Vexit, and I was worried he was gonna have to start last. But okay.
I thought Icewind was the lane joiner. I'm not sure.
It makes sense. Yeah, it's just Vexit was displayed in P18, so I thought it was him. And Federera actually, or Crystals of course on my screen, actually did crash in qualifying, so that's the reason he was parked there. As well, you already pointed out, he's obviously not frustrated, not happy with that. little bit frustrated, and now the times are indeed tumbling. We're getting more and more drivers into the 14s. Julian Altina has said if he had talent, he would have done, that's how it works, a 14.8, but sitting on a 15.2, that is outside of the top 10. He could have been 4th by his own, by the statement he made himself. Now Bailey on the last outlap. The Ferraris.
Yeah, so we have a couple of drivers starting their laps, Bailey, McKender. But I think Bailey, I don't know if he actually needs to improve. Maybe he just goes for the practice run, because he has quite a large gap behind, but the starting on softs at a disadvantage to the drivers behind him actually, but let's see what's gonna happen.
Banson chat pointing out his tier 3 time would have been enough for P13, which is where Jensen is right now, and of course that is a testament to the strength of this tier 1 grid. But also I want to point out that Jensen probably wouldn't want to be down in P13. He had a similar starting position, no, actually had the same starting position last week in Bahrain, and managed to get himself into P5, but he would of course look to try and get himself up the order.
Oh, McKender just crashed. Just crashed.
Yeah, and that is Arakamsa at the top of the hill, and Sonny just blew past it, but I didn't see who can I... There it is, there's McKender's car, shot on board with, from our cameraman Bailey Thompson, with a good view on that.
Yeah, and Jensen caught some slipstream from Danny there, while avoiding the crash. So a lot of going on. Bailey about to finish his lap. Luca retired. Justin jumps into P3, so Bailey will be happy to see Vexit being pushed down to P4. And let's see if Bailey improves just for the sake of it. He does actually. 14.3. That's very, very, very fast. Smoking the competition.
Jensen showing
what
us,
a time.
Jensen showing us his P12 pace. There goes Danny now. Danny has started his hot lap. I wonder if he will get the favor returned by Jensen on the back straight. Maybe he could get Slipstream as well. And that would be important. Danny surely doesn't want to start from P14 here. And especially with the times that Vexit and Luca have put down, he knows there is some incredibly strong competition. If he wants any chance at competing, he needs to be close to the front, and a 15.4 on mediums isn't gonna cut.
Lock up.
Yeah, a little bit of a lockup. Goes a little deep, but it's okay. There's an Aston Martin in the gravel, that's normal, I guess. Down in turn 7 and 8. Now through Kamsa, one of them, or probably the most dangerous corner on the track, and he... Oh, what's that? Oh, he invalidated, and he invalidated, and then he was frustrated enough to throw it off the track into the wall. Jensen gonna drive past his mate. Yes, Danny is. Yeah, I wouldn't hire this guy. If I was a mechanic, I'd be cursing in Italian right now. So, yeah, Danny gonna start from P14, at least with strategical advantage, but that's surely not worth it. Bailey is on an in-lap. Luca is retired from this session. Justin not gonna put in another lap. Now Vexit might actually be trying. He's on a soft charge, really close to the invalidation. Yeah, of course he will be.
And there is a tire on the track that he needed to avoid.
Vexit, though, only 1/10 up on his mediums time now that he's running with the soft tires. So what is the pace gap really? And will the Aston Martins be a problem? They are. Julius and Vexit kind of having a coming together, and that's surely annoying. Ethnic TRN, the Season 1 king of SLR, has returned to the front row temporarily, but what can Vexit do about that? He does abandon, so he wants to start on mediums. P5 for him. And I think that's the end of qualifying. Yeah,
I don't know how to pronounce ethnic.
I just say ethnic TRN. That's
ethnic TRN, but jumps into P2. So Bailey must be quite happy with the outcome of that, because when you have two drivers on medium behind you, and you are only driver on softs, that must be good for Bailey, because then the medium drivers will have to push through some traffic. So it definitely benefits the Aston Martin driver, but that was very close call with Julius. You were referring to Aston Martins in the gravel. You were saying that this is a normal sighting. Yeah. So Aston Martin's in their natural environment in the gravel,
Yeah.
but turns out
I didn't think I'd see them again later in the qualifying session when I made the first statement.
yeah, Aston Martin needed to leave their natural habitat, so they rejoined the track in an unsafe manner. So it's like a deer crossing the road. But I think, despite the issue, I think he was going to abort that lap anyway, because I'm gonna, like, out of experience, starting P5 on mediums is like starting in top 1, top 2 on soft. So I would say he's still on even grounds with all of the drivers ahead of him in terms of strategy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will look like interesting race with these two mediums runners, and we will have to see and keep an eye to see how this will develop over the maybe not first few laps, but over like 10 or more when the softs will start pitting.
Yeah.
Because usually on this track, softs will pit quite early, around lap 9, 10, or maybe sometimes even earlier.
Yeah, I think we're looking at like 7, 8, right? I don't know.
Yeah, it can be like even earlier, depending on how long you want to stay out on track. If you are worried about undercuts, so we'll have to keep an eye early on Bailey if he will extend his stint or keep it short.
Yep. And for the championship, I mean, it's really early to even start talking about it because 22 races in total. This is the second one. But Luca has once again beaten Vexit, and they are probably the two drivers that are looking to get the points for themselves on the board, while the 3 drivers involved in the Interlagos incident are still serving their 3 race bans. So Yari, Damien and Jay are gonna come back in Baku in 2 weeks' time. And in that time, of course, everyone else has the chance to get a little bit of a head start in the championship against our Season 6 reigning champion. And now Luca might once again be in a position to take some points away from Vexit, who I would have expected to be the main challenger of Yari. So it looks like the power balance there has changed a little bit, and it's interesting to see.
Yeah, you gotta score those points while still you can before the big boys come in. I mean, tier 1 is still big boys only, but still you need to take your chance while you can, scoring more points.
Absolutely. Also, okay, let's look at the tire choice. I have a feeling, it's not as predictable as I thought. So first of all, Pammy. Oh god damn it, Barnes! I haven't turned off Steam overlay yet. So Pammy is on soft tires from outside the top 10, which is quite an interesting decision. I don't think I agree with it, but he'll know what he's doing, or was misclick. Then everyone else kind of on mediums outside of the top 10, except Ice, Pixel, Fox, who are all gonna try their luck on hards, and maybe it helps them if they push them long enough and then there's a late race safety car, they could suddenly be in the mix after this bad qualifying session. And now the race start. It's a pretty long run into turn 1. I assume Luca and Vexit are not going to be threats because the mediums do get a bad launch, just because of the lack of grip. The soft runners, though, are going to fight it out. So we've got Bailey Thompson in the green Aston Martin leading the field into turn 1 ahead of Ethnic TRN. But it is a long run, so maybe if Etney has a good start, he can challenge him. Justin, with a potential for double slipstream, could make it 3 wide, so I'm sure we are looking at an exciting start. Who gets off the line better? Let's find out. So.
Yeah, let's see. Last cars are lining up. So we'll have 5 lights pretty soon.
Yeah, we are lined up on the grid. 5 red lights here at Spain. And we go green in Barcelona, and I believe Ethnic TRN has had a little bit of a better reaction on the start there than Bailey, but he doesn't really get off the line well, so he has to tuck into the slipstream already, and I don't think he's gonna get enough pace from that to challenge into turn 1. Instead, he is fought by Luca. Not enough grip there to be found. Makenda's taken Vexit's position already, so Vexit down to 7, Copy and Marion fighting for 7 and 8. But I think everyone's gotten through safely. Julius now with the send on Marion, so he takes P8. That's safely done. Nicely done as well. In the Aston Martin, he's not in his natural habitat. Not
But we
in
have
the
yellow
down.
flags in the back. I think it's Danny.
Danny! Not again. He's thrown it away at Bahrain, and now he's at the very back of the field. But up front, everything has gone pretty safe.
Yeah, he still has his front wing, so he should be able to try to climb back, but it will be difficult without the slipstream. But so
Julius
far,
and Copy both really late into turn 10 there, but it goes all well. Now El Sonny also poking his nose in. Yeah. Oh, what? Julian's just thrown it away. How has that happened? I have no idea. Our season 4 champion in the gravel trap. Oh man.
I completely missed that. There's so much going on.
Yeah, but
But Bailey is actually, as we speak, almost breaking the DRS, so he's already building the lead. And Mackinder is actually up 2 positions already from the start. So we have Vexit dropping to P6, so these mediums didn't work quite well for him on the first lap. And Bailey, as I just mentioned, he already breaks the 1 second gap, so it should work very well for him against these medium runners behind him. And once we will see the DRS train, we will see how it will develop. He's training a lot of battery. Ethnic still has over 60%. This is not a big difference, but when the gap is so small on the straight, it might matter. There are still few laps before DRS will get enabled.
absolutely, and now Bailey is doing exactly what he needs to do, because he is on a worse strategy than Luca, I think, on paper. But if he drives this well in the first stint, he might be able to make a gap and then defend it at the end of the race. That surely is his calculation. So far he's done anything he needs to do for that. Now he also kind of needs the assistant of the Czech driver in the Williams with Etny, who hopefully for Bailey will hold Luca up for quite some time. But Luca on the mediums is making those tires look as if they didn't have just objectively less grip than the soft company.
Very close to Ethnic, actually. It even looked like he's gonna try to attempt an overtake into turn 1, but decided against it. On the straight there was like 2/10 gap between them, so I think in few laps, when these stops will start fading away, Luca will be pushing it by the looks of it quite quickly up to P2.
Yeah, and I also want to mention that Julius is doing really well in this race. He is this is the second tier 1 race. He was still a tier 2 driver, I believe, with assists even last season, and has now made the jump, and he's even made the jump with he's made the jump into the top 10, so he's definitely hit the ground running and is doing pretty well there.
Yeah, it seems like a good start for the Aston Martin today. It looks like they are about to score points, but it's quite early to say, to even predict how many they will end up with. Bailey is, I think, fastest lap after fastest lap, so he wants to build that gap very early. He's already low on battery, but for him it's quite important to break the DRS very fast and maintain the gap to run away from Luca, because Luca is his biggest threat right now.
Yeah, and speaking of breaking the DRS, we have Copy, who has lost connection to Vexit, so even though Vexit is on mediums, Copy was not able to keep up there. Of course, Vexit is going to be pulled along by Mackinder and Justin, so it's not quite the fair comparison, but the main thing remains. Copy is in trouble, and he will need to defend without DRS against the Aston Martin and the 2 McLarens behind him.
Yeah, so now that we have the DRS enabled, we see 2 trains forming up, and we'll see how the driver is gonna manage this in the next few laps. Of course, it might not be as easy to overtake on this track because there's not many overtaking spots, but these are the tier 1 drivers that we are speaking of, so this is the best that SLR has to offer, so they might show some surprises to us.
Absolutely, and now Luca is the one who wants to be first in the line of showing us surprises as he just goes for the move on lap
And Marian
5.
on Julius.
Oh yeah, so we got two fights at the same time. You call it, Julius hanging on the outside, and now he's squeezed off track. The two Dutch drivers fighting it out there. El Sonny probably looking to get involved. Marian runs a little bit deep, and we've got yellows. That's Pixel off in the background. Sonny not able to follow through, so it's Julius to P9.
Fox, who also gets tangled in the back.
Oh.
But Julius might be a bit annoyed with that because he got pushed off track. Hopefully he didn't get a warning for it. And just worth pointing out again that Luca, he managed to overtake Ethnic quite fast, and he has a lot of battery to chase Bailey now. And he's actually closing quite fast. So I'm wondering if Bailey maybe was overdriving his tires. Because Luca is actually...
Sonny is fighting with Julius here, and they swap positions twice now, so there was obviously some action happening in turn 10. We missed kind of a little bit of that. Julius stays ahead though, sorry for interrupting.
No worries. So Julius is struggling a little bit on this soft, and as I was saying, Lucas is the fastest lap, so he's actually on pace with Bailey right now. He's already matching his times despite being on the worst tire in the theory.
Marian
Fox
gets
a penalty.
Sonny gets through. Oh no,
goes out
Sonny!
wide.
Yeah, completely deep, and now he has to rejoin safely those mediums. Didn't give him enough grip, and now he's behind his good friend Jensen. Julius running off track up front there. Yes, not quite in the gravel trap, but off track. And now Jensen takes the lead in that little charge against Julius. And yeah, up front, Luca 1.2 seconds to Bailey. You were talking about it already. He's just really fast now, and I believe we've now kind of reached the crossover point. The soft's probably hitting a cliff now, and the medium's still going
it's
strong.
actually about tires, sorry to interrupt, but Luca had much more battery than Bailey because he saved quite a bit behind Ethnic, and Bailey is actually running low, and Luca used all of that to gain DRS, and it will actually pay off for him because he just broke the 1 second gap, so he will have DRS on this straight. So he can go back to saving and prepare the move on Bailey. I mean, he doesn't even need to do the move. He can just follow and charge the battery. And Ethnic and Justin into turn 1. Justin jumps him into the podium position right now. So.
Jensen Julius. Yeah, they are fighting there, but Jensen does not manage to make the move stick. Julius, in the meantime, has gotten a penalty, though. I don't know if that was in the fight with Jensen. And Jensen looking hungry towards the inside in turn 4, and I believe there was a little bit wing-to-wheel contact between the two of them. The young Dutchman against the old one, and now Sonny puts himself on the inside. Really, really close there, but...
tries the switchback, but it doesn't work for him.
Yeah. Oh, Crystal's also with a penalty. He is in P13. How does Jensen do this? Julius gets a little bit out of shape once again and is almost a threat at losing the DRS.
Jensen, what a dive!
Oh, absolute send by him in a very controlled one.
It's a lockup. And Julius actually drops from this. Oh, Julius! Contact, wheel banging.
Yeah, with Sonny there. Also, Crystal's trying to move on Pemmy. There's
late braking, and Sonny goes out wide again. He must be pissed by the amount of times he got shoved off the track. Marian actually pits as we speak, so lap 8 we are actually worth mentioning at the crossover.
Oh man, there comes Vexit. No, Vexit doesn't make the move, but the train for P3 is certainly fighting now about, who gets to...
Yeah, and when all of this was happening, look at Luca, he is just 2 tenths behind Bailey, so I think Bailey will be pitting actually quite soon, and Luca will actually look for an overtake in probably this or the next lap in one of the DRS zones.
Crystals is off! He's the second Red Bull to put it into the gravel, and that was, I don't know if that was in a fight with the others, but it's certainly gonna hinder his race a lot. Now,
Ethnic pretty close to Justin, but decides to not make a move. He's taking his chances, as Chief pointed out earlier in the chat. He's playing the long game. he's an experienced driver. But we've been following Luca, one of the medium runners, for quite a while, and it's worth maybe talking a bit about Vexit, because he's also following really close to Justin, Ethnic, Makender, who are in the DRS train, and these soft runners will have to pit
Oh,
soon.
Vexit, here he comes. You just mentioned him, and now he's on the move on Makenda. I don't think there's much Makenda can do. He can't even break late into the corner because Ethnic is ahead of him. So he has to yield that position down to P6. He goes, and Jensen has taken copy at the same time. So now Jensen is on the charge as those medium tires do come alive by now.
Yeah, I think Jensen will be like our sleeper driver this race, because we were not mentioning him in the very beginning. He had a lot of battles, but he's on mediums, so he despite this 5-second gap, he can definitely recover it and probably contest the drivers from P3 to P6, and especially with Justin, who just got a penalty. And let's see if Ethnic will try to make a move. He's very close, but again, the side against it probably doesn't like this overtaking spot. He will probably prefer to do the move into turn 1. Vexit is probably feeling at this point that these drivers ahead of him are slowing. He would really want to drive in some fresh air. You can see that, oh, Justin actually pits, so let's see if Vexit will make a move here.
Yeah, that does leave
Yeah,
Ethnic vulnerable, and he takes the position. I don't think that's a question at this
Luca
point
and
in
Bailey.
time. Yeah, Luca and Bailey, exactly. At the same time, that is going on. So Bailey stretching those softs longer than I thought he was going to.
And Sonny on copy, so we have a lot
Too
of
much at the same
overtakes
time,
going on. Yeah, so we have a lot of positions changing, because we are actually at the crossover when these softs are no longer any good. And I think, what do you do now if you are Bailey? You need to pit this lap most likely, because at this point you are losing out.
Yeah, he's probably trying to... Oh, cut his losses as Luca makes a little bit of a mistake. That might have been a warning. I just wonder, if you're Bailey, do you maybe try and stretch one more lap to, stay in the DRS and take that as an advantage? It's possible, but he's just barely hanging on. Luca has got 50% more battery, so not the best fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be now, the grid is a bit more spread out, so hopefully we'll get a breather before there is more action, because once the strategies will come to fruition, we should see more action. But right now, Ethnic TRN pits, Makender follows him into the pit lane. Vexit's at the fastest lap, so we have a lot of going on. Bailey actually decides not to pit. I think he wants to use the DRS from Luca to maybe keep up with these medium runners. Maybe he wants to extend his stint, but he's barely keeping up.
Yeah, I think, just from reading what Chief said, that Bailey might want to extend to do a soft medium. That is also possible, I think, if he can.
That would be interesting strategy.
Also, Icewind, obviously trying to kill himself because he's driving without a helmet. Ladies and gentlemen, don't do this at home. This is not nice. Luckily, he's got the halo, so it's fine. My man, nice.
I mean, his Icewind, so he should...
Oh no! Fox hits Justin there and gets spun round. He definitely broke too late. Now Marion gets caught up in that. Marion and
Makender as well.
Yeah.
Some wheel bumping.
Marion and getting tangled up in incidents he's not at fault for. Name a better duo.
Will Bailey pit now?
Oh,
Let's
is
see.
that
Yes,
damage
he's
for...
pitting.
Does Marion have damage? I think his race might have just been compromised by other drivers a second time. This is really frustrating. I think he's out.
His front wing looks fine.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm watching on board and it looks like he's driving with massive understeer.
Maybe it's just light damage, but on my screen his front wing looks alright. Bailey just pitted. Let's see where he will come out, if he's gonna be close to Justin or not, because I think Justin was the guy that was just behind them. So keep an eye on Bailey. Bailey is actually quite ahead of over 3 seconds away from Justin, so yeah, we'll have to wait a bit to see more of that. But Ethnic on Pixel Of course, Pixel is on quite old hard, so it's gonna be easy move on the inside. And Ethnic needs to stay close to Justin to use this DRS to not drain his battery. He actually has a lot of battery left. Same for Justin. So they are doing great on this ERS management.
And as Makenda overtakes Pixel there, also we have our first retirement of the race. It is Fox. We saw the incident in turn 5, and I believe that's the reason he retired. He did get a lot of damage there. Also, Marion was pulled into the pit lane again, so I guess I spotted it right that he did have damage, but it probably wasn't big, but he decided to pit anyways. Now he's at the very back of the grid, probably praying for safety car at this rate. And up front, Luca and Vex.
Luca with the penalty.
Oh, Luca! My god, he gets a 3-second time penalty, as you say, yeah. So that has just turned that completely upside down, because he had a 3-second buffer to exit after a brilliant first in.
Ethnic on Justin. Will he go for the inside? No, he was too far away. Same goes for Makender. So I think this fray will battle it out over the next few laps. Let's see who is gonna play the long game smart, because we had some wheel banging, so these drivers are really come in the fighting mood for today's race. They don't want to give any positions easily.
Absolutely.
And what do you think, when should these medium runners start pitting? Like, what's the window for them?
I am actually wondering now if they even do medium hard, because everyone else is doing soft medium and everyone's doing a confident.
Yeah, if you look at Justin, he has probably the oldest tires of the soft runners who are already pitted. So he will have to extend this medium stint, and he will need to worry about his tires with 2 drivers behind him with fresher compounds. So Bailey is not wasting time on recovering as we speak. Says the fastest lap, but it's low on battery, so he has some free air at least, but it's quite a lonely driving now until the Luca and Vexit and potentially even Jensen until they pit.
Pemmy maybe with a move on copy, does not find it, no. Yeah, all the medium runners are gonna be really threatening by the end of the race.
I want to bring something to your attention. There is very small chance that these medium runners, they will pit in few laps and Icewind can still carry on. So imagine there's safety car in that window. That would be amazing to see Icewind actually jumping with that. I mean, it can happen.
Absolutely. Yep. It is always a chance. I mean, that is a reason you could go for hards when you are way off the back end. Let's be honest, it didn't work poorly for him so far. He is only 2.4 seconds behind El Sonny, who's done his entire race on mediums. So Icewind certainly still
Sonny
in the
on
mix.
Jensen.
Exactly, Sonny
Enter
now.
turn 1.
Yeah, Sonny just using the DRS there, driving quite the tight line into turn 1, but not deep enough. Doesn't go deep enough to open a switchback window for Jensen. We've got yellows, and that's the other Ferrari, does Danico in sector 3. He's had an absolute nightmare, and it doesn't end here. Justin takes X Crystals as well. Crystals, I mean, that was just waiting to happen. He's obviously stretching those tires very fine to the race, probably for softs as well, and is now falling prey to that train we had earlier in the race for P3.
Yeah.
There goes. No, okay. Ethnic needs to get past Crystal sooner, because if he doesn't, that might open the window for Justin to clear Ethnic TRN out of the one.
Justin would love that
detection.
with his penalty.
Absolutely, yeah. If he could find a gap to just get up and run, that would be great. And it looks like Ethnic is gonna have to follow Crystals.
Yeah, and Crystals is struggling. Sector 3, this doesn't look good for Ethnic, because it will be difficult to overtake now. And this is very good for Justin. Maybe he can pull a gap now. Makender watching closely from behind, because he will also have to go. Oh, Crystal spits, so he makes it easier for them actually. He decides to not stay out. Tony gets another penalty. I believe that's his second.
Yeah, it is. And look at the gap between
Not his
Justin
third
and...
actually.
Oh wow, the gap between Justin and Etnik at the start of the straight was just over a second, but the DRS is pretty powerful. Justin didn't have it, Etnik did, and now we are at 6/10. So Etnik probably just about keeping himself in there, and that would mean by the end of the race he would get the position, which I believe right now would be net P4 depending on what Luca and Vexit are doing, and because they will come charging by the end of the race on those soft tires for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, like, with all of these penalties, I don't know, probably it's good for Jensen because he can save a little bit battery now behind Sonny without worrying about his position on track.
Yeah, he's certainly extending well into the second stint, setting himself up for success. It is a very similar race to what he did at Bahrain, but at Bahrain, I mean, here he has already worked more for it than in Bahrain. In Bahrain was, you know, just driving and everyone else slowly started picking each other apart. And here he's really done the work in the first stint to put himself into a great position. Yeah, Bailey takes that position now. He is, I mean, Bailey is doing so well. It would be interesting to see the different strategies clashing by the end of the race. Luca, Bailey, Vexit.
Yeah, I mean, gap to Luca is almost 20 seconds now for Bailey. So I think it should be actually easy for Luca to...
Oh, that's copy on Julius there. It doesn't make it stick though. Julius is on hards. Julius does have a penalty, so things are looking in favor of copy, but he also needs to execute the move, and that seems to be the problem as of now, and he needs to be careful that Pemi doesn't, you know, intervene and take P11 for himself.
Yeah, and also Icewind now with fresh tires behind all of them. So he will probably also like to tangle with them and try to get his car into the points scoring position. Especially with Pixel ahead, who still needs to pit, so they are actually fighting for some points now. Luca pits.
Yeah, we're getting a clearer picture now as Luca will head into the pit lane.
Is he going on softs actually?
Early. This is really early. No, he's just
going on hards.
Oh, he's probably just trying to get the good laps out of the hards and take the mediums as long as you can. Justin with a penalty. Exactly, yeah. And that is 6 seconds for him, which almost completely rules him out of the fight for a podium. Where does Luca come out? Oh wait, just skipped away from a move, I believe. Yeah, that is Macenda on Justin. So Justin loses 3 seconds to the penalty, loses a position to Macenda as well, so it's not going well for him. Up front, Luca is 1.3 behind Bailey Thompson. Bailey with 5 lap old mediums, and Luca on fresh hards. So actually, I think this is a race-winning position for Bailey Thompson, unless Vexit, without a penalty, comes alive in the last.
You will have to pit for softs. What the gap between Bailey and the race leader? Let's see. So this is 14.6 seconds. So if Vexit is going on soft, he will have to pull a lot of effort. It really depends on traffic if he'll be able to catch up to Bailey or not. Because, like, Bailey, despite being on the worst strategy, he was really having a very, very solid race pace. You could see, I think he has the fastest lap right now. If that means something at this point in the race, so you know that he's on pace.
Absolutely, and I don't even know at this point if it is the worst strategy, because the soft medium does seem to work really well, and Danny Coe puts it in the wall out of Kamsa at the top of the hill, and we get a full safety car!
Safety car!
And that is so good for Vexit! Poor Bailey!
And so bad for Bailey, yeah, Danny.
Oh no!
And this is, I was mentioning, Icewind just pits.
Yeah.
I mean, it was actually, when I was saying that if Icewind actually extended his stint a little bit, he would be in the perfect position, but now that he pitted like just 2 laps ago, so he probably wasn't listening to me, because this timing of the safety car would actually be perfect for him to maybe even fight for the top 5.
Yeah, probably just didn't know
you
that.
can never predict those, right? So we will see how the drivers... I think top 3 is definitely pitting, but the question is Bailey gonna pit for... does he even have a second set of mediums? He can actually pit for the second set of mediums.
He can... He could also make the end on softs, couldn't he? Because the safety car, I assume, is gonna...
But I think with the safety car, like, extending, mediums will be better till end of the race.
Yeah. It's
it's gonna be very close at the end, and I think he needs to make the call really quickly.
Yeah.
He's in the final
What is he
chicane,
gonna
so
do?
is he
He stays
staying
out.
out? Oh,
Oh, I think
So-
that's wrong.
yeah, with 6 old lap mediums, 7 now, with a lot of drivers on fresh softs behind him, and Vexit actually
behind
comes out ahead
Vexit.
of him.
This
Yeah.
is terrible.
So I think Bailey now will actually be dropping maybe even outside of points, most likely, on this restart.
Oh no, yeah, he needed to pit there. Absolutely obligatory to pit there, and he doesn't, so I think he's just given away his
I
best chance
think
at a
he
race
should
win in a
go on
while.
the second set of mediums, or because he didn't have the softs, right? So he should go on the second set of mediums, and I think it would work okay for him. Staying out is probably for the worst, especially when everyone behind him actually pitted. He probably didn't want to pit because he thought that everyone behind him just pitted, and maybe if he was racing with a crew chief, maybe if he had this information, he would make a different choice. But right now he has to deal with what is the situation presented against him. And I think Icewind is in the same boat, but his mediums should be fine, if not better, at the end of the race than this soft. So he might lose to Ethnic TRN, but last few laps he should be able to do some overtakes.
Yeah, and also, in quite a weird twist of fate, the one Ferrari going out into the wall has put the other Ferrari in P3 without a penalty on soft tires. I think it's quite safe to say that Jensen will overtake Bailey because of the tire difference. So Jensen
Yeah, definitely.
in a net P2 here after starting P12 or 13 even.
Yeah, I've been saying that we need to follow him because there is quite a storyline developing. He started outside of top 10, so this is so far the driver of the day performance to me. Hopefully I won't jinx him. Because apparently I'm very good at jinxing people.
Oh, you did the Coda
I think
one.
Jensen will actually crush in the next corner.
Oh, no.
He will probably have a terrible race from now on.
You destroyed him. It's fine. By the way, for Jensen's YouTube video of his race, we will cut this in and tell his fans that you're at fault. Okay? We'll just put the audio clip in. I think Jensen will crash, and then
Cut the video.
exactly cut it. No.
I mean, he had very close battles so far, so he definitely had to fight for this position. It wasn't easy for him, and I think he, with what he showed us so far today, he can definitely, potentially from here, if he has a good restart, maybe he can catch up to Vexit. You never know, right? It looks like a podium to him, but from here he will probably want to overtake Bailey as soon as possible and contest this race win. I think knowing Jensen, he didn't give up on it yet. It will be very difficult, but not impossible. And as I say that, we have safety car in this lap.
Yeah, at the restart, it'll be interesting to see what everyone does. If there's going to be any chaos, let's hope we don't get any carbon fiber pieces flying across the track. Let's hope we don't get 5-second time penalties. That does tend to happen a lot in restarts recently. And we'll see how well Bailey holds on to this. I believe a win is kind of out of reach with the new situation on tires. 8 lap old mediums versus fresh softs around him. Best of luck to all the drivers. We're about to go racing. Let's hope this is gonna be a good one. Julius and Crystals! Oh man. They get... Well, at least Julius,
Julius
gets a penalty.
already had plenty of penalties, so
There goes
but let's see.
Luca.
Exit pushing on the restart. Bailey has a nice slipstream. Jensen doesn't have the best restart. Actually, he's
Luca.
under attack
Oi.
from Luca and Sonny.
There he
Luca
comes.
gets a position on
Well
Sonny. This is much needed because Sonny had a lot of penalties and he didn't want to get tagged behind him to pull a gap with the penalty of his own. Icewind keeps the position despite the tire disadvantage, and Jensen is actually quite behind Bailey, and Jensen he has to defend from Luca now.
Yeah, he has to.
So it works good for Bailey for now, at least.
Oh, Jensen!
Jensen with the penalty. No.
Ah, that was so unnecessary. Now he's on equal. Now he's fighting with equal penalties too.
Jensen
Luca-
doesn't have DRS. Luca will go on the inside. Jensen breaks late, but this is not late enough. Luca takes the inside line and overtakes him just before the sector 3, so no chance for Jensen for now to take back this position, but Luca is pushing to get the DRS from Bailey. He doesn't want to give Jensen any chances of regaining that position, so Jensen is gonna be pissed with that. It's still not race over for him because Luca also has a penalty, so he really needs to keep the head down.
Yeah,
And
but
let's see how this DRS train will develop. So far looks like no one gonna make a move.
what can Luca still accomplish? How far is Bailey gonna fall? I mean, if he keeps sticking with the track limits, there's still loads in it for him.
This is working wonders for Vexit, who is already almost 2 seconds up the field with Freer and Bailey holding everyone for him.
For sure. And I don't know if you mentioned it, Ethnic kind of running in the net P3 right now, but of course the field is gonna be a little bit more strung out by the end of this race, so Ethnic needs to get a move on, overtake some people, for example, the AlphaTauri on medium tires ahead of him, driven by Icewind. There's also fighting going on in the background, that is Permi on the inside of Marian. They are fighting side by side into turn 10.
Oh, Ethnic is spins
What?
in sector 3. He's out of the track. I think he spun on traction. I didn't see any collision. It looks like he just lost it on his own, or maybe he got hit from behind. It didn't look like it.
And he
So
spins again.
you just jinxed him actually, because you said it
Of
looks like net
course.
P3 for him.
Okay, Luca!
And Luca on Bailey down
And-
the inside, very late on the brakes.
So
Jumps
much more good.
looks like easy move, and now Jensen, despite the tire advantage, he still didn't manage to catch Bailey. Another penalty for Julius, but looks like despite his P9 with that many penalties, it doesn't look like he will be in the points for now.
Yeah.
And
Pixel actually looking set to score a few points. I know he struggled for them in the past. This could be a good day for him. Well, it could have been, until I just mentioned it. Now it's all gone.
I mean, now that like while we speak, Bailey, because he is probably the only driver in the midfield without.
Oh, Death
Oh,
Luca!
Luca just crashed!
What? He's just
On
off!
the straight.
Safety car!
Another safety car. Will Bailey pit now? This is the question, because I think it started to
then
look
he's
very
last.
good for Bailey with all of these penalties. But he will be last, so I think he has to stay out. There's no way that he pits, right?
Yeah.
Like the gaps. What I was about to say before Luca crashed.
Ethnic.
Oh, and drive through for Ethnic, so
Man.
it's raced over for him. But just before Luca crashed, I was about to say, like, Bailey is only driver in the front without the penalty. So despite the tire disadvantage, he can still make it happen. So it's not end of the world for him. Like, the podium is still in his reach, I believe.
Yeah.
The restart is really not benefiting him. But for Jensen, this is another chance to catch up to Vexit. With the penalty, it's less likely, but he has a second shot on what he couldn't do on the previous restart. It's probably because Bailey on mediums is a bit slower on the exit of the last chicane, so it's very difficult for Jensen to hit the timing on when to go on throttle, because he also can't overtake Bailey too early.
Yeah, and do you have an idea what happened to Luca there? Like, except the Ethnic is definitely
No,
retiring,
I
by the
didn't
way.
catch that, unfortunately. It looked like he was probably battling someone on the straight. I think it might be contact between two drivers, because you don't usually crash on the DRS straight on your own. I would be surprised, unless he spun out of the exit of the corner and his car flew really far away, because it was in the middle of the
Exactly,
straight.
yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Otherwise, it's easy to call. He just did what Danny did, run the curb and die. But at this, like, with the crime scene looking like it does, we don't know. Now we are going.
We need some detectives and FIA investigation on
Yeah.
this one.
at least.
And we'll probably need driver's POV to find out more. Julius with 20 seconds. By the looks of it, he's gonna finish the race probably last with this safety car restart.
Yeah.
So there are still a lot of points for grabs, and it's gonna be difficult to predict the final outcome with plenty of penalties. Maybe worth keeping eye on Mackinder, who still has fresh mediums, no penalties. So he's actually net P3 right now, isn't he?
Yes, exactly. So I think the fight for P3 is just going to be Mackinder versus Jensen, because Jensen has the 3 seconds, which means he's definitely clear of Sonny and, well, sort of Icewind right now. But can they run away from Mackinder? I don't know. The safety car is helping the soft runners because you barely get any tire wear under it, so they are safely making the end without any risk of a puncture. I don't know if they were at risk before, but now they're certainly not. The question is just, are the tires going to be enough for Jensen to clear him, make that 3 second gap actually happen? If
yeah,
not,
Jensen is the driver to watch on the restart.
Yeah. Also, by the way, worth a mention, Marian might get rewarded for his attrition in this race. He has had a terrible day, which I don't think was his fault. He got taken out by Fox there, and now he's running in P11, but it's a net P7, depending on how the grid strings out after the
Yeah,
safety
but
car
Pixel
reset.
and Copy behind him are on the fresh softs, so I think they will look forward to pushing through a couple of these drivers with the penalties and all their tires quite quickly.
And
So it's gonna be interesting to watch and see if Copy and Pixel, I mean, they are at the end of the grid, but they can still get back into it. And Vexit is restarting the race, so he gets a good launch, and
7.
Bailey struggles.
yeah, 7 laps
With
to
his-
go here in the closing stages of this race. And it
Only
looks
on
like,
Jensen.
yeah, El Sonny's gotten a really good run, and I believe Jensen is now depleting some of his battery to make sure he still keeps that P3. It would be a disaster if he got past there for himself. I think Justin looked a little combative. Also, Julian on Marian is happening in the background, but up front, no position changes for now. Julius maybe. He's really close to Justin. Justin on the inside of Mackinder. No, everyone's just giving each other a hard look, but no one is fighting.
Justin on Mackinder, he will look like he's gonna go on the inside, but decided against it. He was quite close.
And
So let's see. Jensen is actually struggling to follow Bailey on the fresh softs. So this is interesting to watch, because this is the second restart when Bailey is actually smoking away from Jensen, and Bailey is about to break DRS. This is showing that there might be some just raw race pace difference between these two, because Bailey was super rapid in the qualifying. So maybe despite the disadvantage, the pace is just there for Bailey. And Sonny, he needs to cut that chicane and gets a penalty. He lost
5-second penalty instantly, so that just puts him further down the grid. That is quite tragic. Now
Mackinder on Icewind.
Exactly, I think that one is going to happen, even though he's not going to get ahead before the braking zone. He just might put his nose alongside, he does not. Mackinder playing the long game here, he doesn't really need to risk it, he doesn't have a penalty, so getting eliminated now would be terrible news for him. Julian Altina on the chart puts himself back into the top 10 on track at least. Now has got his teammate X Crystals ahead. Crystals being the result though.
Just it shows how difficult it is to overtake on this track. If you look at Pixel and Copy, they have a lot of drivers going wheel to wheel. Pemi and Marian, despite being in the back, they want some of that points. So if you are Pixel right now, you have very fresh tires, but you can't really be the third man on the inside there and try to sneak yourself back into top 10.
Yeah,
And the DRS train is not helping.
Yeah, this man has mocked me quite a lot for my poor overtaking skills. Now I want to see it. Show us, Pixel. What can you do? Tell me.
Yeah. And he's not doing great on the battery. Or actually he is. So I had some bug when it showed less. DRS enabled now. Oh, Pixel taking the chance on Pemi. Now that you said it, he took it personal, but Pemi is fighting back. They are both deploying everything they have. Will Pixel do the dive? He's slower on the straight,
there comes
actually.
Copy though! Copy on the inside of 3. Oh no.
Oh, and Pixel blocks him.
Yeah. Oh, a little bit of a touch there gets Pixel all out of shape. And they can't lose too much time there. They need to stay within the reach of the DRS train ahead because they all got penalties. Pixel and Copy don't. And Pemmy is just holding them up here and maybe even drop. He's costing them valuable points right now.
Definitely. And like, I just want to go back to this Bailey against Jensen battle. Jensen is still struggling to get close to Bailey with DRS enabled. Like, look at the tire disadvantage that Bailey had, and this just shows how well Bailey was prepared for this race. Unfortunately, the safety car wasn't the perfect timing for him, but despite that, he's keeping up with Jensen.
Absolutely.
Copy very close on Pixel, so we'll probably see a round 2 of that.
Oh, Pixel also getting all out of shape.
Julian on crystals as well.
Yeah, so we're getting the 2 Red Bulls, and then we're gonna keep an eye on the other fight as well. That was Julian to the inside,
Easy for
underbraking.
Julian.
Yeah, gets that one done.
Pixel on Pemmy. Pemmy defense, so no chance for Pixel to overtake there.
Yeah, and Copy is waiting, but I wonder when he has waited enough. He's just catching the dirty. It's gonna push him offline every single lap there. He can't drive as fast as he wants to with those ahead, and the gap between Pemmy and Marin is now 2 seconds. Copy almost going for it there. He is certainly sort of losing his patience, and he's also losing a lot of battery. He's almost out of it.
Yeah. Pixel Copy are not having easy time overtaking, so this track turns out to be very difficult. Even with the tire advantage in the DRS train. Pixel... Oh, I actually accidentally alt-tapped, so I can't see what's going on. I'm back in
Pemmy and Pixel both lose the position to Copy, so he's just been gifted 2 places, and with his soft tires, look at the tire delta that he has. He should be able to cruise up back to the back of that queue and maybe even take Marion, and then he could still be up for P7. It depends on how well he does now. Iceman in the move on El Sony. They are side by side, but Iceman is not able to get it done. He doesn't need to either. Iceman is in P3 right now. Why haven't I mentioned that in a while? Oh no, wait, no, I'm not.
Point.
It's fine.
Oh,
It's
he's
fine.
in P4,
Penalty.
but
Yeah.
we are at the point of the race where when mediums are better than the softs, I think, or at least we are at the crossover.
Yeah, depending
So
on the
Icewind
tire.
might try to overtake Sony. I think he doesn't have to, but it might help him with the drivers behind him. Makender will probably be happy with that, because he's gonna jump, I think 3 of them. So Makender is in the P3 right now, isn't he? It's gonna be close actually between Makender and Jensen. So Jensen still needs to push, and Bailey is dragging him a little bit. I don't know if Bailey is actually slowing Jensen or dragging him at this point, because he didn't manage to get into half a second gap to even get some slipstream. He's getting the DRS,
Jensen almost taking the podium position now. If you look at the gap, if you open the gap to leader thingy, you'll see Jensen 2.7 off of Vexit, Makenda 5.7, and that's almost 3 seconds. So if Jensen just stays with Bailey for a little longer, Bailey could actually help him into finishing ahead of Makenda, finishing on the podium, which would be a great result for him after qualifying well out of the top 10 on pace. Also Copy and Pemmy, by the way. That's happening too.
That's happening in the back, yeah. Makender is also just looking at what's going on ahead, because he doesn't need to worry about drivers behind him. Pixel with the penalty,
but he is
but
spun,
it's gonna...
so it doesn't matter.
He spun out, so it's not helping or influencing him by much.
Yeah, it's just Jensen versus Makenda as
Yeah.
predicted. And if Icewind and El Sony get all
They're on
caught
the
up,
edge of the 3-second gap actually. There's like a tenth between them.
exactly.
So Makender's gonna be like on the mercy of Sony and Icewind, because he can't push much more. So he either needs to overtake someone, or Jensen just hope that Jensen's soft tires will just die basically.
Now maybe with a move, maybe he can take fortunes in his own hands, but Icewind is gonna defend with the
Icewind
DRS.
is deploying.
Yeah, Sonny might
Sonny
just fall
doesn't
victim
have
here.
anything.
Yeah, we're getting a 3-white moment with McKenna all on the inside. Icewind just takes the position and McKenna tries to follow, but it doesn't.
I mean,
so it just
if you're
loses time.
McKender now, you need to take it safe. You can't risk crashing out against the driver with like
he's
9
looking to
seconds
the
of
inside.
penalties. Oh, he's taking the risks, and I think he doesn't have to because Jensen's tires are dying. And
last lap.
will it be a good call for him or not?
No,
He tries to go on the outside, but it doesn't work. So he's really trying, but what he should be doing right now is probably waiting for the DRS straight.
He's out of the 3 seconds. He's out of the 3 seconds, and
Yeah,
those
he
tires
lost
don't have time.
3/10.
Those tires don't have time to fall off a cliff anymore for Jensen. So I think McKenna might have just lost the podium there in the long distance duel with Jensen.
It's gonna be close.
Yeah, this is certainly close. Now it just needs a perfect sector 3. Hope for a mistake from this man, from Jensen, who just needs to keep it clean now. And in the
It's a
meantime,
10th between them.
yeah, Vexit is going
Jensen had not a great sector 3.
Vexit's winning the race for sure after that safety car. Bailey with a brilliant performance comes on P2, but what we're all waiting to see is, has Jensen done enough? He comes across in P3 on track, and everyone else finished. McKenna is
enough.
4th. So Jensen gets a podium.
How close was it?
Jensen gets a
And
podium.
Icewind in
5th.
P5.
Absolutely
What's the
great.
gap between them? I can't quite see on the screen.
So 1.3 seconds there, and Marian holds on after that big crash earlier, gets P6 for himself as well. So good on him for not quitting this race, even though he certainly had a reason to.
Yeah, P6. What a comeback from these issues early on in the race, and Icewind given the driver of the day by the game. I think much deserved.
Yeah.
And here is the celebration from our race winner.
Very stylish.
I mean, he pulled the strategy. It was in the end worth qualifying on mediums. Luca was there for a while until he spun. We will need to figure out what happened there, if this was a crash with another driver or mistake of his own. But it's also worth mentioning Bailey securing that P2 despite the tire disadvantage. So Jensen had his chance but didn't convert it. It was quite surprising that he didn't take home P2, and but Mackinder Icewind, the Finnish duo, actually managed to score some solid points.
For sure, that was a really good one. I am. Well, this certainly means that Vexit takes the championship lead after our current championship leader Luca crashes out of the race. Probably unassisted even, I'm not sure, but that one we will very likely find out. I assume we're gonna talk to Jensen at some point, because Jensen was riding right behind Luca when it happens. I think he's got it on his recording, so we will certainly find out. And now, what's going on here? Why am I getting a black? Why are we? What?
Did you crash out?
We're relaunching. We're doing qualifying apparently. Amazing. Let's just move to the post-race interview screen then, as I try to close the game because someone's launched a new session. Let's figure that out, and then we'll see who we want to talk to. Wait, can you hear me? I think my Discord died. That's fun.
You good?
Okay, now I'm back. My Discord died for inexplicable reasons. Is the stream still running? Yeah, it is. It should be.
We are still live by the looks of it.
Good. Okay.
Let's maybe start out with Bailey in the interviews channel.
Yeah, we'll see who is where. Let me take a quick look. Yeah, Bailey sounds about right. Let's get him. Hello, Mr. Thompson. You are well, first of all, congratulations on that P2. And the first question I have after that is, are you happy that you managed to secure that podium, or are you more, or do you feel let down by that safety car that you didn't manage to get the race win?
I mean, I'm pretty happy with P2. It's one of the better race results I've got. So, I think if the safety car, the first safety car didn't come out, I could have maybe won. Vexit was going to go on hards, and that would have been a lot a lot easier if I would have been ahead. But I don't know. I'm pretty happy with P2. The pace I had on the mediums at the end was,
You're cutting out?
I might be.
Ah, okay. Okay, you're back. Good. Okay, good to hear that you're in good spirits after that, of course. I was a little bit frustrated from the commentator's booth because it did feel like it was playing right into Vex's hands. Did you see the possibility of him maybe doing a medium soft and threatening you that way, or were you sure he was going to do...
I was certain he was going to do medium soft.
Oh, medium soft. Maybe I misheard you. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I was sure he was going to do that.
Okay.
Because he'd gone so long, and he's like, you don't go out your way to qualify on mediums, so then just go on the hard. So there's not really much point in that. Like I laughed like 16 when he pitted, and I was so confused when he came out on hards, and I was like, what?
Understandable. I was put off by it a little bit as well. In qualifying, do you think you maximized your potential, and was it a conscious decision to not go for mediums? What was the thought process?
I didn't want to go mediums at all. I knew my strategy, and obviously it worked.
Fair enough.
The lap there was time. I think about a 10th there. So like a 14, 14-1, 14-2 was there. But yeah, it doesn't really matter. Pole position.
Yeah, you'll take it.
Like that.
Imagine. Yeah, so you're in good spirits, obviously. Are you also about Monaco? It's a tough track. Easy to get caught up on.
I've already done a lot of Monaco, so I know what I'm doing. But and the league race I did in Monaco didn't end too well. But
I know, I saw, but yeah, I mean, I guess collectively speaking, we are hoping for a Bailey 3.0 to carry over to Monaco and do his best there. So thanks for joining us. Have a nice evening.
You too. Bye, guys.
So that was Bailey. Okay, who else do we got? I want to talk to Jensen.
I think we should grab Icewind and Jensen.
I will talk to Jensen first.
Okay.
So, okay, let's get him. Hello there.
Hello.
Mr. Jensen.
Yes.
Yes, so to make it short, how?
I don't know. I said before the race started, and I saw Pixel was driving. And normally, if Pixel drives, he's my teammate.
That's true.
And I win the race. That happened the last 2 times. This time he wasn't my teammate, but at least he still managed to give me a podium with his lucky charm. Yeah, I don't know. It was the same basically as last week. Reverse strat. I really bottled my quali. Second run I was on a 49, but then I screwed up the third sector. So it was really bad quali once again, but yeah, in the race I saw a lot of aggressive moves here and there, and I tried to capitalize on some of them. Managed to overtake Julius eventually. Also elbows out a little bit because he dived me quite hard back a corner before.
Yeah, we saw a lot of wheel banking on the stream, and we are actually surprised that you managed to come out of it on top, like without any damage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was the most important part. And then with El Sonny, we basically were driving towards lap 21, 22 for the medium to soft, of course. But yeah, then the safety car came, which gave us a free pit stop. And I was actually really lucky that the safety car came out once more, because I finished the race with 76% left front soft tire. So if that second safety car wasn't there for 2 laps on the track, I probably would have had a puncture. So a bit lucky with it, but yeah, once again from P13, and this time not to P5 but to P3. So really happy.
Yeah, how much preparation did even go into this race? Was it sort of a plug and play moment again?
A little bit. I practiced, I think, 1.5, 2 hours yesterday with Marine and El Sonny, and today I had soccer at 12:30, an away game. So I actually got home right when real life qualifying ended, and I basically did 5 or 6 time trial laps before the lobby started. So yeah, once again to 2 to 3 hours of practice, I would say, tops.
Yeah, I mean,
So
for your personal YouTube highlight series, you've got quite the Arava qualify terribly, gain 10 positions in the race streak going on there. So I'm good.
I mean,
I hope it's good for content milking.
I mean, I didn't want to make Fexit cry by winning the first few races suddenly. So I was like, let's bottle quali and drive to the front and just not win the race. Yeah,
I figured. Did Mattia give the call to your teammate to make the drive to the front a little bit more straightforward when Danny looped it?
Oh man, yeah, no, no pit wall communications, but
Sure.
I was it me who touched Danny, or didn't you see as well? Because it was really. Did you see what happened with Danny? Because I still have to watch it back, but I have a feeling maybe he went on my inside a little bit because it was so crowded into turn 3 and 4 on the first lap.
Oh, that's okay. I thought you were referring to how Danny crashed in the end, because you were nowhere near. Okay.
No, yeah, I've seen that.
He posted the clip, so we will be able to figure out. But I didn't set it up so I can put it on the stream. That is in a different stream kit, so I can't.
Yeah, and by the way, before
you did touch, but it's not. Wasn't your fault though. It wasn't your fault, I think.
No, but it's unfortunate. That guy has so much bad luck at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Imagine if we both are. I do the recovery drives and he is at the front. We might be a serious constructor contender once again. But
yeah,
I heard you say, by the way, about Luca out of turn 9. I had a front row seat for that one. I can make a clip of it after this interview if you like. I can do that really quickly.
Yeah, I can't put it on stream, so it would just be for personal curiosity.
We'll just post it in the Discord.
Okay, well, congratulations, of course. Podium must feel good. Keep up the good work and maybe put in a few more hours for Monaco, or the walls will hit you.
I don't think I'm gonna make Monaco.
No!
Because,
don't say that.
My at-home games are at
wrong answer.
15:30, really late this year, so I have to come up with something. But chances are big I'm gonna miss Monaco at least, and for the rest of the race we have to see. It's not my intention to miss a lot of races, so maybe I can bail out of a few games earlier or afterwards by hurrying up, getting a quick shower and go home. But next week probably I'm not gonna make it.
Well, that is unfortunate. Then see you in Baku. Thanks for the interview and have a nice evening.
Yeah, hey, who got drive of the day?
Oh, we didn't.
We didn't decide it, but personally, it was close between you and Icewind.
Last week I got robbed of it, Timo.
I think I would give it to Jensen because it's a podium this time. And I swear I didn't say that because he's here with me right now. And I swear the gun he is pointing at my face doesn't have anything to do with it.
I know, I was just curious. Just figure it out. Otherwise, after the interviews, I will go, so no bias. Thanks for the interview, guys, and for streaming.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I guess it's Icewind? Let's talk to Icewind.
Yeah, let's pull him.
Good evening, Mr. Icewind.
Evening, guys.
So, what is harder in your opinion, Tier 2 or Tier 1? Just give us your honest take.
I guess there is not really that much between there, but I think you know this, like even last season the Tier 2 lineup was really competitive, so yeah, I mean, yesterday was just very unlucky because there was some weird decent contact which took me out, and then I was like, I came straight from LOR commentary to this race, and I asked Danny if there's space, and I said I could drive because I want to get further than 5 corners. So
well, it did work. You did get further than 5 corners. By a lot.
Yeah, yes, indeed. So P5 is I'm very happy with that. Missed my quali lap as usual, but you know it is what it is. But then just like race just went my way. I just kept it on track. I got only 1 penalty, which is pretty good, I guess. And I mean, I think that was pretty much the maximum I could get. I really had a lot of trouble overtaking anybody today because because I kept messing up the final corner. I think Mackinder even sent the message to me just a few moments ago that he was driving behind me and saw that I was just struggling with that final chicane every lap.
Yeah.
And that's why I just couldn't get past El Sonny quick enough. But I mean, I guess that wouldn't really have changed the result anyway because of that penalty I had. So, yeah. It's okay.
So that's really good. How did the race go your way exactly? Like, was it on strategy, the safety cars, or just overtook people?
Like a lot of people tended to spin ahead of me. That's just, I don't know, like Danny, X Crystals, Luca, whoever else. So. But yeah, I think the strategy also worked. I guess the real jackpot would have been if I stayed 2 laps longer on those hards, and I was really like arguing with Chief, who was struggling, chiefing me, helping me on the pit wall there, and he was telling me the pit lap 14, and I was like, no, I'm gonna pit lap 15, and then I said I'm gonna pit lap 16, and then if I would have just gone 2 laps longer, I would have got that freebie pit stop. But
yeah, we've been actually talking about this on stream, like few laps before that. I said to Timo, listen, there's a lot of medium runners, and there's gonna be a gap when all of the medium runners pit and Icewind can still stay out, wait for a safety car. And I said that, and a couple of laps later it actually happened, but you pitted too early. So if you watch back the stream, I was actually calling out that this is gonna happen and you should be prepared for it. So you should blame whoever was your crew chief for not listening to stream.
Why didn't Ocean Chief...
I pushed 3 laps longer than Chief wanted either anyway, so... he was just
let's blame Chief.
I could undercut those guys who were ahead of me on the on the mediums at that point, because I honestly think I had pretty good race pace, so...
Yeah, it certainly looked that way, and in the end we can just blame Chief for not interpreting the hidden messages that Ferrari were giving Danny to crash out on lap 19 correctly. If you had correctly gotten that information to you, I think greater things would have been in store. But P5 is still nice.
It's really good.
Do you think you'll do more tier 1, or was it just a spontaneous thing that was?
Well, Monaco, definitely not. But let's see. Anyway, and there's also my sister's wedding next weekend, so I think I'm not gonna skip that for a league race. But
yeah, that does sound like a good priority there. Yeah.
Yeah. So
come on, just comment race. Why would you ever go to a wedding?
I'm sorry, Sister Heart. I have to shout at pretend racing. No, wait, I have to drive pretend racing.
I might do some reserve races, but it's also like. Practicing is definitely or finding the time to practice rather is difficult for me at this time. So yeah, this is definitely, I think, like Bant said earlier, this is one of his stronger tracks. This is definitely one of my stronger tracks as well, because I can even qualify on this track, just not today. But
Yeah. So good to hear that you're also in good spirits after that one. It was nice to see you in tier 1 again after a little bit of a while. Have a nice evening. Thanks for joining us.
Yep. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And I believe we're going to round it up with Julian. It's getting quite late, but Julian has
he was very eager for the interview.
It's just because of the chemistry we've got going on, which is absolutely no chemistry. So let's get it. Hello, Julian.
Yay! Hello.
Oh, he's here. We're reunited. Awkward.
Yes.
Bringing you awkward interviews since season 4. So
I can't wait. Get us going. Come on, please.
No.
So Julian, how in the world did you end up in P7?
Sorry, let's go. MVP.
I have honestly no idea. I literally spun on lap 1, which was the most stupid mistake I've made in a while. I literally clipped the curb in the final sector after the double left-hander. The one to the right. I clipped that curve on the inside and I spun. So yeah, I mean, Ocean told me to spin, so I'm just gonna blame him for that one. It's his problem now.
I like how everyone's just blaming Ocean, but it's a right-hand turn, so I would expect you to struggle with it. It's okay.
Yeah, thank you. But I got saved by the safety cars. The pace wasn't terrible. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't the greatest, but it was good enough to at least sort of keep up with everybody. And when the safety cars came out, kind of saved me. The first one I moved to the mediums. I thought it was a VSC at first, but then it moved to a full safety car. So I was still in the back. But when the second safety car came out, I was able to make a nice move on Marine there. So yeah, it was a good move. And then I also made a move on someone else. I don't really know who anymore. But I sent it around the outside, which was great. I hope you guys caught my moves. If not,
did we, Sonny? I don't remember.
I think we might have caught it. I'm not sure. I don't know if you had the camera on, because sometimes there were a lot of simultaneous overtakes, and I know I wasn't sure which camera angles you were looking at. If we didn't see this on stream, we definitely catched most of the overtakes and position changes.
Then we're just gonna blame Timo because he's a bad commentator.
Yeah, you can blame our camera operator today.
It's shots are flying today. Everyone's getting insulted. So
I just want to correct myself, by the way. Ocean said he predicted I would spin, but still, I'm gonna blame you.
Okay. I mean, speaking of shots being fired, I read you shooting. No, wait. I heard you firing shots at Cody's earlier. You were, I think, complaining about the game. Like, what's your? We haven't talked since this game is released and you're back in F1. So, how are you liking the game right now? Like, is it motivating enough to actually turn up for the races, or is it? Do you think you're already getting sick of it? Like, what's the mental state?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just here for the community, man.
Let's go. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, game is bad. Should just improve. I mean, honestly, yeah. How long have these guys been making this game? 11, 12 years, and they still suck at it. I don't know what you're gonna do with the game. Like, this is still charged. What is it? 60 euros for it? But sure.
Well, but then on the other hand, the other game you enjoy, they had 12 years time to fix it, so you don't kill people who drive within half a meter of you. So it's it's everyone has their faults, but Codemasters certainly have a lot of them. That's.
I'd rather have some good iRacing netcode than play a Codemasters game. So yeah.
Yeah. And how are you looking at? Like, what's your take on Monaco? Good track, bad track? Looking forward to it? Dreading it? What's up?
I think we'll do.
Will do. Okay, well, with that,
that's a very Kimi Räikkönen style comment.
It's not the worst response I've gotten from you in an interview, so it's fine.
Well, I am actually running a league myself now, so I have to watch what I was going to say. So.
I was going to plug it. Anyways, that was Julian, our Season 4 champion. He has a league, which he told you like 5 seconds ago. And I think you have your race like in, what's it? Half an hour? Like,
yeah,
your first race
I just broadcasted those, so I'm not actually
Oh, you're broadcasting. Well, if you want to see Julian outperform me at broadcasting and doing a much better job on the interviews, then, check that out. I'm sure he'll be spamming the link in all of the channels he can get his hands on. Thanks for joining us in the commentary booth, and looking forward to seeing you again on next week's Track X, unless the armament you're not going to attend, in which case sad. Yeah, that's it. I think that wraps us up pretty nicely.
Monaco bad, though.
Yeah. Thanks to everyone for watching. The chat was quite active, which was really nice to see. I appreciate all of your support. Have a nice evening, and goodbye.
Bye.